And hello everybody, Aether Salora here, with another lovely cosplayer coming on to the show for an interview. Today, I would love to introduce...
Discordia Cosplay. Hello. Hi, people of the interwebs.
Woo! And then today, as I'd normally ask, what brings you onto the channel? I'm like, no, I know why you're here. But as to simple questions, gotta ask, what got you actually into cosplay? Because I've come across one cosplay of yours being an Invader Zim cosplay.
I started cosplaying in 2008, so I'm old as dirt. And I don't know, I liked Halloween growing up. Or I guess I still like Halloween.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess I didn't like myself much. Still don't. So I guess, you know, when you're dealing with that and you like dressing, I always liked dressing up because I liked superheroes growing up.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably some underlying reasoning there that I was just like, this seems cool. I saw, you know, to be honest, I saw an Axel and Roxas like live action music video that just some fans shot, and that was pretty much the catalyst for me. Once I saw that, I was like, this is cool. You mean you could just like do this for like fun? You can just like dress up as characters for fun?
Yeah.
To be what? That's cool. I want to do that. And then that's kind of what happened.
That was same with
I showed it to my buddy, and then my buddy was like, yeah, they call it cosplay. I was like, what is that? And then that's kind of like what happened. So that's like the like deep, like legitimate, like how I figured it out was just like there was a music video on YouTube that's still on there from I think 2 Japanese cosplayers, and I was like, this is so cool. And like, Daughtry, it's not over, and I like Daughtry, I guess, and I was just like, oh my god, this song's a banger. This video is cool. You could just do this. And so I don't know. I had a list back then. But yeah, that was it. And then it was kind of like off to the races. Me and my friends just started like trying to figure out everything we could about it. And since it was 2008, it was like really hard at the time. But yeah, that was me. I don't know.
It's all the magical moments of when things in life happen to all of us in a weird, strange way, but it always links to Halloween.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So
apparently that's what it all comes back to.
You already answered another question I was going to ask, which is how long ago? Actually, better yet. No, you did actually. So I was like, well, when did you actually fully realize it was cosplay? 2008. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I did it all in one go.
With also the fact of COVID that happened, we'll say as early as 2018 when we started hearing about it, to where it's now 2022, including, you know, just the same years. You got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 5 years of COVID affecting everybody's life and still affecting many people's lives. How did it actually affect your cosplay, career, position, lifestyle, fun life, etc.?
Well, we don't go out, but we never went out that much to begin with, so it didn't really affect us that much. Just now we're like forced to stay in, or we're forced to stay in.
Yeah.
We live in like a pretty small town now, so there isn't as much fear here. Like if we have to go do something, we still don't like go out and eat really, or anything like that. So we're still like very much kind of in that phase. As far as cosplay stuff, well, I haven't gone to a convention since basically 2019, 2018, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Because, like, when I started cosplay, I kind of did it on and off a little bit. But I was juggling, like, trying to do actual careers or whatever because I wanted to be a musician. So I just didn't have time. Because I was playing, like, a gig, like, every week. So I just didn't have time.
Well, you know, there's a lot of actual, you know, just, like, the title name of the manga is and then play. And honestly, if you got some time, it's just 3 mangas. Just in total for the series. Wish it continued, but it's in that rock star life of people just getting up off the ground and finally trying to get a break, and then the band kind of like ends up, and there's so much to the actual thing.
Yeah, I was on and off for a long time, so it's weird because I would take like a couple year breaks in between because I just didn't have time, and so
it's life.
It's kind of it's kind of been like that where I haven't. The only cosplay stuff I've done is Spider-Man stuff for like my other accounts. and so that's it. And I only did it because like I couldn't do any charity work, and I have all these suits, and I was like, well, I guess I'll do TikTok finally, and so I just started doing that. And so like every weekend or whatever, I would just dress up in Spider-Man costumes and record like 40 TikToks or whatever, and then send them out during the week. And that was kind of what cosplay became for me because I couldn't go to any events, and so
True.
Anything that I was working on or anything I wanted to do was just like done, and that's it.
Kind of went down the
only
drain.
Thing that stuck with me.
Yeah, no, a lot of
that was really the only thing.
It was either
that was really the only thing I still had.
It was pretty much either people in 2020 that did cosplayed still, but did a lot of TikTok. And then on top of it, there was like me and several other people I do know. We're like, we're going to put cosplay on the back burner, even if we did a lot of commission work. It was just, we really saw that we needed to focus way more. I mean, way more on other stuff. Because our life was affected.
And that was really it. Like, I just only was like, all right, well, I'm just going to dedicate myself solely to Spider-Man right now. And I'll just do TikTok because it's the only way I can use that character. And a lot of my other cosplay stuff just didn't fit some of that mold, or it just took so much time to get like into. Where Spider-Man, like I've been cosplaying him for like almost a freaking decade now, so it's just easy for me to like jump in it. Like I just get it. It's but yeah, so that's kind of how it.
It's more.
I just moved on to.
You would say second nature. It was more second nature with the Spider-Man versus any other cosplay that you actually did.
Right. Well, yeah, I've been doing Spider-Man for so long, and I grew up relating a lot to Spider-Man because I was adopted by my family, and I was like a nerdy straight A student who was into science stuff and whatever. So like, for me, it's very second nature once the suit's on to be like, oh, I get it. And Spider-Man is my eldest brother's favorite character in the world, so it's just like, I get it. It's just sat there, read the comics, and done the research about anything that I'm interested in. I'm just like, let's learn this facet of the character. So, yeah, for me, it's just like, it's way easier. Because, like, a lot of the other ones have my face, so then it's like, I gotta shave, I gotta do makeup, I gotta do all this stuff to get into, like, one costume.
Right.
And it's like, great, I could record 3 TikToks, and then it's like, what do I do now?
Right. So, it was same when I did Reaper from Overwatch as well, where it's like, I could get all this on and I could keep my facial hair, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, and that was, part of it was like a logistics thing of like, what can I record? How much content can I record in a single day, and what's like the most effective way to do that? And so then you're like, doing what? Like an Iron Man takes like 2 people to get into, so like that's not it. So I have to like go to my partner and be like, strap me into this thing so I can record like 5 TikToks, but I have to have like enough saved that I'm just like, all right, hit the next one, because I can't even get the gloves on myself, so it's like, hit the next one and do it. And those are like the best ones on my like, I guess, personal TikTok. Is all the Iron Man ones have a ton of views. It's like, well, thank God, because it took me forever to get into the thing, and I couldn't see shit. So I was just guessing, like, where's my mark?
Oh man, I can relate because there would actually be certain gloves I would either wear or not wear, especially with Reaper. It'd be like, quick, here, lift mask, click with nose, put it on timer.
Yeah, and I think this is before I figured out that there was a timer that you could use. Like, I couldn't find it for the fucking life of me. I guess I'm just getting old.
I gotta push
I had
this
to have
thing.
her hit it before, like, off camera in order. I don't know.
Right, you could say we did nose our way around.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. But yeah, that's how. Long story short, that's how it affected me. I just went into other projects and just did TikTok.
Yeah, and then moving to some of the people in chat, we've got Mercedes saying hello, Invader Zim OMG, yas. And then we got
Mercedes.
And then we got Alice Boleyn. I was the girl for that Zim cosplays.
It doesn't count.
Gur is my spirit animal. And then saying that 2020 was our last con. I was like, that big sad.
I guess it was. I don't know. I'm bad with dates.
I've lost track of all the conventions.
Birthdays.
I'd say 2008 was probably the first convention I'd ever gone to at the time. Maybe. Yeah. and it was FlatCon, and I was like one of very few cosplayers that used to go to conventions.
I know which con it was. I just don't know the date, I guess, apparently, anymore.
Oh, man. Yeah, we lose track of time. We lose track of time, and there's the poppers.
You're joining.
Oh, your ball.
You got a lot to say. I know.
I'm a slick beard.
Yes.
But let's go ahead then and get into the pictures here. And of course, it's going to be a big pain in my butt. Like, oh, hey, you didn't refresh this, so we're going to give you the most irritating moments of the stream. And it's like, oh, big sad. Why you do? So we see that we've got... Do you want to start with Invader Zim or the Power Rangers?
Yeah, we can start with Invader Zim. That's fine.
Oh.
I have the least I probably could say about it. So actually, well, yeah, we can start with Zim. That's fine. What does it matter to me?
You could say that your girl was the hot dog to your bun or something like that.
But that would be weird because I have 5 dogs. Weird thing to say. And whoa.
Hello, hot dog. How you doing? But you were saying back then, too, 2008 is when you guys did this?
No, 2008 is when I started.
Oh.
I have like 0 pictures from 2000. Well, actually, I do have some probably from 2008. They're all grainy and look like crap. That I couldn't even. I don't even know what year that was, but it was more recent. That was probably
2012, 2016, something like that.
It's probably like closer to 2018.
Because at that, I can't answer call right now, Daniel. Sorry.
I think that was 2018 or 2019, I think, is when we did that.
And I was going to say, this was, what was it, Anime Midwest?
No, that would be TaiyuCon was where we wore those. I think that was the one and only time we wore those. It was actually TaiyuCon.
Okay.
Arizona.
And then going on to your next cosplay being the Tokyo Ghoul cosplay you got here.
Yeah, it's a pain in my asshole.
So, with all the straps, how fun was it to get in and out of this one?
Yeah, that one was a nightmare, and I don't wear it anymore for that reason. So Kaneki was like, on the one hand, it was like the coolest cosplay I've ever probably worn, and like the most cathartic or like interesting experience.
I was gonna
say,
say,
a lot of people are like, oh, I wear the costume and I like to feel like the character and be the character. And I'm like, that's noble. I've never had that outside Spider-Man. With that one, that was like the first one showing like my face, or like the first anime character that I wore that I really felt that, because of how restrictive that costume was.
Yeah.
Because the bodysuit was essentially pleather, but it was like a stretch. But the issue was the white parts were pleather, so the white parts had no give. So when you're trying to get into the suit, but the wrists are like formed or like what are small, you're like trying to weasel your way through it. And then they made the bodysuit like too small for me, so I had to have my friend cut it so that it would fit me. So what you don't see is that suit is like cut to, it's demolished. It's in basically shambles in order to fit me.
I can tell because
in
the picture here around your wrist, I was like, what? Did he like shave his hand or something? I'm like, nope, that's probably the bodysuit right there, because it's like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, so, well, and it's weird. Some of, like, the pictures, like, for the exposure just turned out weird. But I did shave. But, I don't know. Yeah, but, like, the shoulders, like, normally on Kaneki's suit, the shoulders are open holes. We had to cut those, like, super deep so that the sleeves would even sit low when I had my arms resting. I had to cut the whole midriff, like, open so that the shirt would fit. Or that I could, like, get into it with the pants.
Right.
So that was weird. So there was just like a zipper hanging down for me somewhere, but you just couldn't see it.
Right. You gotta zip it up, man.
And then getting into those pants, like I said, because the openings had pleather strips around it, was just like nearly dislocating a foot or whatever to get into it.
Oh no, I
could
know
get
that
out
feeling.
of it, couldn't get into it.
Dude, that's
and then
like,
you have the mask, and my eyes are weird. My eyes are really janked. They have very, very different degrees of strength or whatever.
Yeah.
They're super off because when I went to the optometrist, she's like, how have you not had daily problems? She's like, your eyes are so, there's such a power difference in your eyes. You should have just issues with your daily life. I was like, I have no idea. But when I wear that, it becomes very apparent because one will get extremely, extremely tired as the day goes on, and it just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, I just can't.
That kind of makes me feel like I can relate to that because I've had corneal abrasions before in both eyes, one more severe in this one because it was due to opening a box of boneless chicken from Buffalo Wild Wings and a shard went right across, and it was the worst, most sensitive, I looked like a prom mess. And the other one was just on the white.
Whenever I'd wear that, it would just, this eye would just be like, I can't, and then this eye would be like, all right, let me open, and I'm like, I can't, I gotta focus. And then I think that too, I just finished the mask and it didn't air out quite properly, so there was super glue, so that made it like a whole other chemical that I could feel and like smell the entire time. And so yeah, it was a very like weird experience
at a time.
But it was the first time where I was like, I really feel like Kaneki because I fucking get it. I'm kind of miserable, and I'm like, it just affects the way that you like move and like emote because you're just fat. Yeah,
I don't want to feel life go away.
Yeah, it's something.
I'm hungry.
You do feel like I felt very powerful. I was like, I feel incredible, but at the same time miserable. This is fantastic.
And that's where Alice here was saying that's when I saw this Tokyo Ghoul player.
She's
and I was
liar.
like, oh,
she's a liar.
So hot.
She's a liar because that's not true, because I remember seeing her in that cosplay and she barely even gave me the time of day. I was sitting with a friend. And I was like, she's cute as shit. I'm gonna go say hi because she's sitting with our friend, and so we went and said hi. She didn't give me the time of day. She looked at me once, and then I left.
She made you work for it. She made you work for it.
She saw me another day in a different Tokyo Ghoul cosplay, and it was like, oh, he's hot. But she didn't notice me when I was this Kaneki. She's a liar.
She may be saying, oh, he's hot, like.
Yeah, and that goes might be right. I was.
But going on to dude, anybody who pretty much Kakashi immediate like, I like this cosplayer. Oh my god, so hot. But with Kakashi Wigs, now going in depth with that makes a huge difference on each Kakashi cosplayer.
Kakashi. Yeah, I didn't do crap for that wig. I did the first time. The first time I wore it, I think I bought like a really cheap wig like at the con because I forgot mine.
Right.
And I slapped and I did whatever.
And quick question, were these Alex's? Were these Alex's pictures that were taken, or was this the Cortex one?
So
because I noticed this one right here was the Cortex, or
yeah. So Cortex Studios is our buddy Alex, and he did that one. My Kakashi one was done by Hinmei, which is Tyler. And it was just he was just shooting, and I was like, hey, take some pictures.
Get the sexiness, pretty much, right?
Right, yeah, just get it. Because I think it was like only the second time I wore it with the better wig, which my friend Ashling Lee did for me, because I knew she could do wigs really well, and I was like, hey, can you do this wig for me? And I was like, I can't. And so, yeah, she did that for me. It was stupid good.
I assume this was like more...
Now it's sitting in a box somewhere.
I can tell where there was actual multiple lights in this picture, too, because we got the, Shadow Clone Jutsu on the pavement here, and then there's one coming this way, and then there's that one going that way, and it's like, Kakashi.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and in that area, too, is like a big photography area, so there's probably even lights from other photographers.
Like Hollywood fashion here.
It was a lot.
And then a lot of people, even when I first started learning about Blue Exorcist, everybody tells me, do not watch the anime. It does not do justice to the manga because they rushed it in the anime. It wasn't like how it should have been. I'm like, if you like it, you like it. But most of the times when I saw this, I was just like, what in God's name is this character, and what's with the hat?
Yeah, well, the Mephisto's the best. Mephisto is like my favorite character, and I'm a big person of like, if I'm gonna cosplay somebody, I want to have longevity. Character. I don't want to cosplay a character that I'm gonna grow out of in like 2 years, I guess.
Right.
I know you can cosplay whoever you want. I get it. Whatever. My neurosis is I got 4-year gap that I can bullcrap.
I wouldn't want to like just cosplay a 12-year-old kid because look at this face.
I get it. Right. Like I get it. Like you can cosplay whatever you want. I'm not shaming anybody else that does. I'm just saying for me and my own neuroses.
Yeah.
I have to be within relative age limit, and for me, it's like a 4 or 5 year difference.
Right.
And so Mephisto was the only character in that show that I saw that I was like, that A, I could do that with, and then B, I just thought Mephisto was the most interesting character.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I want to do Mephisto. And the goatee thing became a pain in my ass, so I was like, I'll just use my own facial hair.
Yeah.
And like just color it. So,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
And then with the time of year for this type of cosplay that you got, was it like super hot out, or what convention was it?
I wore it a couple times, like as I was putting it together. But typically, I mean, I lived in Arizona for like 7 years, so it was basically always hot.
So you're used to it.
I think that particular, well, used to it. I think for that particular one, it was probably summer, if I remember right. I think that was Phoenix Comic Con, I think.
And then if you need bathroom, by the way, it's over that way.
Yeah, so I think that was summer. So, but we did shoot it kind of in the afternoon, so it wasn't
super bad,
too
super
terrible.
hot, muggy, sweaty.
I wear like a lot of costumes though, where like I'm in like way too many feasible layers for Arizona. So I guess for me, it's like it's a little easier, I guess, to manage maybe than for some people. I don't know.
Dude,
yeah,
I'm like, I can't be in a lot of layers anymore during the heat. Summer times, I literally would have to get so used to it.
I don't know if I would here in the Midwest. In Arizona, for whatever reason, the heat's just like, in that regard, I guess, easier to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole different thing because there's zero humidity, so it's just like...
It's because it's so hot, but you are closer to the coast, essentially, than versus Illinois.
So I don't know, man. I prefer humidity heat, but I don't know that I prefer the humidity heat in a costume versus, like, zero. So I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, that was definitely probably summertime.
And we've got your crow from My Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen this
Birdman.
one walk around.
Birdman. My boy that I did zero work on. That was all my partner. I just told her I wanted to do him, Tsukiyomi, I think.
Is like there anything I can do to help?
I found yeah, see, here's the thing, is like, I'm kind of crap with everything. I've like slowly gotten better at crafting things or whatever. And I found the pattern for that one, and she cut the foam out and glued it and whatever, and then I like glued the fur on myself, but like in hindsight, she's like, you should have done it this way. And then that basically is a whole indicator of why I shouldn't lift a finger when trying to make crap. It's because my way of thinking just doesn't work. And like if she had done it, it would have turned out even better. But because it was my brain gluing crap down, she's like, you should have done it this way. And I was like, yeah, well, unfortunately, you left it to this dumbass. So I did. Yeah, she did pretty much everything on it. I just picked out like some of the material.
Yeah. Hey, you had some hearsay in it though. You had some hearsay in it. Like, oh, I like this material.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I was like, this material would be cool. What do you think? And then I glued the feathers in. And
I noticed that. I was like, ooh, hi. And then we've got gray, pale-looking vampire dude right here. I have no idea what it's from, but around the thought of it, Halloween?
Stas Blood. No, that was Stas Blood from Blood Lad. It's a very small. I watch anime. I didn't see I don't know how big the manga is, but it's not relatively big. And he's voiced by Johnny Young Bosch in the English dub, and I just really liked him. That was for KikoriCon, which is typically actually in November. And that was my first time ever using body paint, and that's when I realized body painting is a pain in the arse. because I just could not get the grays to like be consistent. It looked great in photograph, and it looked like it worked in photograph.
Yeah.
And that cosplay was like getting into it in time for the shoot and everything. It was just like a nightmare, and like that's one of the only photos that like looks like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. I was just trying to get crap done while my freaking friends were like in the hotel, and they're like, what?
It seems like Alice is getting you on some stuff here. She's like, Kikoro is in March, you weirdo.
Kikori is not in March. It was in November that year. They switched. I know it wasn't in March because it was in freaking cold and there was snow still on the ground.
I mean, look right now where we're at. We still have snow somewhat.
It was 100% in November because they switched it. Kikori
was it around Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Kikori used to be in November. Here's what, and this is how I know. They switched it because basically what happened is that hotel would get rented out in the winter time for the like winter like they would have like ice palace stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why they switched it to March. But originally it was in November every year. And again, I know this because it's blistering cold and it snowed that year. But it didn't snow nice snow. It snowed like the little icy snowflakes that hit you and they hurt.
Oh, hail? Like,
no,
actually hail!
You actually were just standing in hail, you idiot.
So much snow, so much ice.
Yeah. I love that cosplay, but I've worn it once. I wore it for that convention, and I hate body paint, so I have not been able to touch it since.
Okay. And then we're getting to our gambling, dude.
Okay. So what one are we on now?
We are on the gambling one. The dude that keeps his eye covered. Okay, wager bets. You
deck him from Death Parade. That was like a really easy one to put together.
You look like a fluffy kitty.
I just kinda, yeah.
Like straight up.
It was yeah, I really like Death Parade, so I was like, I'm gonna do this one. And the photographer for that Chocozumo, I was like, it'd be really cool if we could somehow get me behind a bar. And he's like, yeah. And then like, so he supposedly asked the management like the day before if I could be behind the bar, and they were like, as long as the liquor's actually closed off, yeah, you can. And then the day of, they're like, who did you talk to? And he like, so like, I'm convinced he BS'd his way through it. Just so let us do it, because then afterwards, by that time, they had already seemed to caught on that he was lying, but we were already done. So I'm convinced when I asked him, he's like, "Yeah, sure." I'm convinced he lied to both me and the staff that he knew, but he just told it with enough conviction that they let me behind there for a couple shots. And it was like super early in the morning. It was like
it's like you can come watch. You can come watch. Come watch.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but, yeah, so that was cool.
And then you got...
And I'll never do I'll probably never do a better shoot than that. That's like the thing is like, I didn't quite have the pin that he's supposed to have for that. But I'm like, I'm never going to get behind a bar again. I was like, so this is it. This cosplay's done. There's no point for me to make the little pin badge and like try and shoot it again. Because there's no, if I've learned anything, there's no way I'm getting my arse behind a bar again.
I'm like, you're talking to somebody that can do that. So we're gonna be getting into your free Shark Boy here.
Shark Boy.
Ooh ah. So, what got you to want to cosplay this? Was it a Wisconsin Dells cosplay, or was this more of like?
Oh, that was still in Arizona. That was Phoenix Comic Con. They have the hotel. One of the hotels that was like across the street, or like most of the people stayed at. There's like a rooftop pool. And at that point, I had already been cosplaying Rin for like a little bit. This is when I knew I was gonna retire Rin. Basically, it was like, I'm gonna retire him. I'm too old to be doing him, but I want like at least like one really good pool shoot. And so we shot like a friend of ours, and yeah, so it was, that water was pretty friggin' cold if I remember right, too.
Really?
It wasn't super warm that I remember. It wasn't terrible, but I do remember it being a little chilly. And it was windy is the thing. It was like really windy. So like you would step out, and I at least I went in halfway. I know for sure because like by the time I was like coming out and some of the shots I did, I was just like the wind was hitting me. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. That being Sabo?
But yeah, it was just. Huh?
Was it Sabo?
No. No, I think this was Phoenix Comic Con too. I think this was still Phoenix Comic Con. And yeah, I just wanted to do it because like I watched 50% off, and I was like, "This
the
is great."
abridged version or the actual version?
No, the abridged version. The abridged is better than the actual show.
Oh yeah.
No, for me that is canon free. Like the show is not canon to me, and that's what got me into it.
Let's go Octopimp.
Really into it, and they showed me it, and I was like, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen." And growing up in Minnesota, I was really into swimming and everything. I had friends on the swim team. I was just like, "This is great. I already feel a connection to this." And they're all gay in this. Fantastic. I'm even more on board.
Or the one dude is going after the dolphin because of you know what.
Right. But in the abridged, they're all gay, and I was like, yo, this is fantastic. And I have seen like the dubs, and I'm like, it's fine, but like
let's take it up a notch.
It's just better. It's just better. Like, and that's what got me into it. And I had friends who were into it, and then it was just fun. It was one of those things where I was like, well, this is super easy to do. I love the character. I have friends who love these characters, so we can easily put a group together, and that's kind of how it happened.
And so many people tell me it's like, we can strip so quick out of this if we need to. I'm like...
Well, yeah, and there's that too. So, yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like... Yeah, it was a super easy character to put together that I was like, I can easily put this together, and it's just cool, so...
Right, and then getting on to the Iron Man cosplay you got here.
And my arsehole.
So much EVA foam.
Mm-hmm. And I built 0 of it. So actually, I bought Iron Man's weird. I bought Iron Man secondhand from somebody who was in the charity with us, and that Iron Man suit was built for him, who is a little bit taller than me and considerably larger than me, by probably like 40 pounds or something.
Oh.
But he built it originally for the Civil War movie, because we did a Civil War event, like premiere. We went to a theater and we hung out. And so he built it for that, and then he never touched it again. It just sat in his garage. And he decided to get rid of it, and he was only getting rid of it for like $300, which for an Iron Man suit, if you like look around secondhand, like you're typically going to pay like $600.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we're close enough in height. I was like, I could just build out an undersuit to like fit it. I was like, $300. Like, we don't have a consistent Iron Man in the group. I was like, it just makes sense if I do it.
Right.
And so that was kind of it. I bought it for that reason. I was like, I mean, I've always kind of like wanted to do it. And I was like, it's $300. I was like, we don't have a consistent Iron Man. We got a couple Spider-Man now. I was like, there's not really I don't know. Like, I guess I'll do it.
Right.
And so yeah, I padded out a Zentai suit under it, like a red Zentai suit under it. I ordered like an Iron Man themed ski mask for the neck and the in between to wear underneath. Padded out the helmet and stuff, and yeah, I got some like silver leggings that I cut up to do the joints of the legs. Never got around to the arms. And, yeah. So that was that. I did some minor repairs on it, but yeah.
Huh? All right, and then we're getting into your Power Ranger outfits here. You've got the pirate one.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it took me. So that's from it's from Super Mega Force, which is like
Sentai Rangers or Power Rangers?
Well, so here's the thing. I got it because I was waiting for. I already had ordered like a Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But, or at least, no shit. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't remember which one I got first. So I think I ordered that. I actually might have ordered that one first or something. Anyways, I ordered that one thinking for the charity it would be good because at the time, that was the most present Power Ranger series that was running at the time.
Yeah.
And so at the time when I ordered it, and I was like, this would work great for Power Ranger representation because our charity had 0, and so I was like, and there's an Arizona Legacy Rangers that I wanted to join, but they already had a lot of Mighty Morphin, and so I was like, well, what if I do like one of these? And I really like Gokaiger's like design, which is the Sentai version of that.
Yeah.
I was like, they're Pirate Power Rangers. They look amazing.
Right?
The only way I need a reason to justify buying this, because like I can't justify buying it from like a Power Rangers perspective. I didn't grow up on that season. Like I came out and I'm nearly 30 when it came out, and so it's like I can't be like, I'm a fan of the show without that being like weird, and the season's terrible anyways. And so the only reason to justify it would be like, well, I like Gokaiger, which is the Japanese version.
Right.
Like being like, well, it's for charity.
And it's better.
And so, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, the pirate mode seems better. Anyway, so originally, yeah, I got it basically as like a charity thing because it was, at the time, it was the most recent thing. And so I was like, well, I'll get this, and that way I can wear it with the Legacy Rangers, or I can wear it with this group. And then by the time that I actually got it, Dino Charge was out, and I was like, well,
and
son
then
of a biscuit.
We've got the Power... Why do they sew, like, the legs of the Power Ranger suits so low? Where it's like...
I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it's a measurement thing or if it's a stylistic thing to like be more consistent with the Sentai series. I couldn't really tell you.
We're much taller.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, it's weird. I think just the way that they like proportion it out turns out that way for a lot of people.
Right.
I don't know. For me, it pretty much is right height-wise. Like, if I get into it, everything fits perfectly height-wise. It's just looser in that area than anywhere else.
Might need to, so nothing rips.
That could be it, too. So I don't know. But it's a cool suit.
Alright. And then with, we are on the Mighty Morphin one now.
Yeah, that's my baby. My pride and joy.
I believe
it. Worn like 3 times. That was kind of the thing. That was like kind of one of the dream ones that I was like, man, if I could ever afford to do like an actual like
Mighty
really
Morphin
good one, I would want to do that, or the White Ranger basically. And I went with the Green Ranger because I was like, I feel like I just had to pay my dues. I didn't. And that, again, this is just me being weird. For me being a fan, and for me like as a kid wanting to be a Power Ranger in whatever capacity, whether it was like an actor or in real, it just changed. When I was little, I was like, I want to be a Power Ranger for real. And then all of a sudden it was like, I would love to be an actor. It's like, well, I can't do that. Well, I would love to just do it for birthday parties or whatever, and or like charity. And so like it just changed. So for me, that was always like the dream.
Right. And now
White Ranger is my favorite, but I was like, I just gotta pay my dues.
You could honestly go anywhere dressed up as a Power Ranger. Nobody's really going to say anything. Like, say, hey, you can't do that. No, they'd be like, can I get your picture?
At this point, yeah. Yeah, White Ranger was my favorite, and I was leaning more towards it, but the fan in me was like, well, no, you should pay your dues first and do the Green Ranger.
Right, and then we get to the Mighty Morphin Blue Power Ranger that looks like you were maximized out your muscles and like, sup?
Yeah, so the Blue Ranger is cool because when I posted it, David Yost was like, great job, and can't wait to like see you one day. And I was like,
what?
I always tell people always ask you when you talk about like Power Rangers, like, or whatever, like, who was your favorite? And I was like, well, for me it was weird because I always wanted to be Zach because we had the same name, and so that was the Ranger I always wanted to be. But Tommy was always so cool. I always wanted to hang out with Tommy. In hindsight, I might have wanted to date Tommy. But Billy was always the one that, like, that's me, that like, pretty much to a T growing up. And so Billy was more inspiring for me because it was like, oh, I could be a Power Ranger. I don't know, I necessarily have to know how to fight great to be a Power Ranger in these things. And so, basically, my group was putting together, like, a Power Ranger or whatever. And my buddy had the kit for the helmet already, and he was just like, I gave it to XYZ. They still haven't finished the friggin' thing. If you want to do it or whatever. And so I was like, well, F it. If it saves me money, I'll do the Blue Ranger instead of the Black Ranger, basically.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened. Is I got this helmet that was super jerry-rigged, like janked, fixed it up, and then just kind of pieced everything together. And that was like the first time I really learned how to really like was crafting things and whatever. Like he gave me a template. He's like, here, this is what I use for my boot covers and my braces for my Green Ranger. And yeah, so that was the first time I really did anything. And then after that, I tackled a Red Ranger, which is even more of a pain in my
Oh, I believe it.
than the Blue Ranger.
Which one?
Yeah, the helmet was way worse shape. Way worse shape than the Blue Ranger. That was just like, jeez.
There's big pain and big butt right now, caca level.
Yeah, the Red Ranger was like, yeah, extremely a lot more work. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got everything. I pieced that together like on a cheap basically, and it turned out pretty good. And have some fond memories of wearing it. And now I gotta refinish the helmet.
Oh boy. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the part of like your social medias and things that you've done that you would like to give shout outs to, businesses, your Go, Fund Me, whatever you want to actually list with the link tree.
Fund me, baby!
Fund me! I like money!
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram under Discordia Cosplay.
Yeah.
You can find me here on Twitch, just Discordia streams. I do so many things at this point. Writer, failed musician, a one-time video game developer, Twitch streamer, YouTuber.
Weren't you working on a special project that's a little hush-hush right now?
If I'm working on outside cosplay. I'm working on a dating sim, which isn't really hush-hush because it has a Twitter. It's based on a novel I wrote. Well, I wrote them. It's a whole fucking thing. I wrote a novel in the style of a dating sim, and now I'm going through and actually turning it into a dating sim, and that's pretty much been the bulk of what I've been working on since September. Is like, that's what I've been writing, because I normally have been writing other things, and I, for a while, was releasing whatever. I was releasing stories and books. And then I released that in September, and I was like, hey, I can actually make this a dating sim. I was like, I should do that. And then I thought, like, I don't know, maybe slowly piece it together, but then all of a sudden it started getting traction. I would start hiring voice actors, and the voice actors would shout it out, and then more voice actors would come in and be like, hey, can I audition, or can I do this thing? And then suddenly I was like, well, now I have people watching me, so now I gotta actually work on this friggin' thing. So now, like, every other writing project that was supposed to come out that wasn't already, like, finished and auto set to publish.
That whole like
has basically just been pushed. Yeah, they've just been pushed way back there. I'm like, sorry, I got like 100 different characters I gotta write. Y'all gotta sit back there right now.
Right, and then what about the first time you wore the one cosplay where that car stopped you both?
That's happened a lot. No.
That's happened a lot.
That's happened a lot. The specific one that I'm assuming this is alluding to is when I got stopped as the Blue Ranger, which is the first time I wore it.
Yeah.
Which was cool, because somebody, wanted their daughter, I guess, was being introduced to Power Rangers and was introduced through Mighty Morphin, and so he stopped his car to see if I would say hi to her or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I mean, of course. Why wouldn't I do that? And she was really excited, and it was a touching moment, and it made me wearing that friggin' thing all the work day, because nobody else really gave a crap the entire weekend, which is fine, and I was kind of more wearing it for me to see if it would even survive all the crap I put together. But yeah, she got out and she was really excited, and that's, that always makes it like worth it, which is like,
heck yeah,
really the only reason I do most of the superhero cosplays is for the kids, not really.
Yeah, honestly, the older we keep getting, I would say that it's like, I may not be the actor, but being able to see that character on the streets, like,
yeah. What I always tell people is I got into the charity superhero cosplay stuff because, like, when I was a kid, Batman was my favorite.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sure if I wanted to be Batman or wanted to date Batman. The lines get blurred somewhere in there as I start to get older. But so for me, Batman was like number one. It was like I wanted to be or date Batman, and I felt like Spider-Man. But Batman was like, in theory, achievable because he was human.
Yeah.
And so I think he was number one, and then probably Spider-Man was a close second. But anyways, for me, when I was younger, my dad took me into a Macy's one time, and I don't know why, but there was Batman there, like the Michael Keaton Batman. And I was a kid, so, you know, your memories get out. It's like, for all I know, it was a crap suit, and it wasn't, you know? In my brain, it looked exactly like the movie. And he was just standing there in this overly fancy Macy's that looked like a manor of some sort.
Yeah.
And I know that part is real because, like, my dad's like, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah, he was sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, Batman. But I didn't want to go near Batman. But my dad's like, go say it. I was like, no. But I don't want to leave because Batman's over there. And so for me, that, I think, subconsciously was like a deep catalyst for like wanting to do that for somebody else, because for me that moment was so important. So now that I'm trying to cosplay Batman, I'm like, I need to do that.
You need to make the utility belt.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah. So anytime you can like do that for like another kid is special, because you don't know, like, doing all these things. It's kind of like, because people have asked me before, like, oh, what's your most standout charity moment or whatever, and it's like, I was like, I mean, it sounds bad, but like once you've been doing it for like 7 years, it all kind of blurs together, and none of it really. It does. Because there's a disconnect, so you don't really know. So
it's been how long? Essentially, is what it is. But all right. So like, yeah. But yeah, that's you know, anytime you can do that for a kid, that's special. Right. All right. Let's go ahead, and it's coming to the end of the live stream for this one. Sorry, folks. I would love to talk more with the Power Ranger man himself here, but we've got another. But we make sure, definitely check out the link. He'll have a link tree in the description below of this video, so all the links will be there for you to be able to follow up on his channels as well, as such as mine will be down there. Give, like, follow, share, all that fun stuff, all that fun jazz, all that fun.
Try.
Subscribe. I need the help. So, yep. Other than that, guys, thank you for tuning in. We've got at least 3 more interviews after this one as well. So stay tuned. It's all going to be on Twitch. Thank you so much again. And thank you, my good sir, for coming on here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having me. I'll see you in the internet ether.
We'll see you in the ethernet.
See me in the ethernet. Come find me on the web.
Do it. He likes it.
Thank you.
Alright, other than that, guys, see y'all later. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Until next time.